Astros don't suck after all. They finally get a win in Kansas City, and it took some of the young guns, some of the old guns, and a little bit of Luis Garcia. And we're going to talk about that on today's live edition of the Locked On Astros podcast.
It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Astros. You find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Astros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
This episode is brought to you by Spotify Green Room. Download the app and join us this week, probably on Saturday or Sunday, to get in on the action. We'll be talking about, hopefully, some Astros victories versus the dreaded Seattle Mariners. Wait, they have a winning record, so maybe we'll be talking about some victories. So this game was it was up and down. It was kind of one of those roller coaster rides, and you had some runners thrown out at the plate, and it seemed like, I think the Astros had, 3 runners thrown out at the plate this weekend, and it looked like the Astros were getting a little bit gun shy at a certain point there. They didn't want to run on Andrew Benintendi, and I think it wasn't in the 10th inning when they didn't send the runner. And they could have scored at the run, but I know that runner ended up scoring. And how about them actually winning an extra inning game for once? The Astros were 4-6 in extra inning games, and now they're 5-6. So almost 500, baby. Almost 500.
Yeah, it was a good game. Of course, being at school and it being during the daytime, it's kind of hard to keep up with it. But I had my app up there for sure. And towards the end, I actually put the game on. And as I was driving home, they were completing the win. They actually won, 6-3. And it was a good win. They needed this. I think they needed to leave on a winning note. And, if you imagine Astros fans being frustrated, I promise you the Astros themselves are even more frustrated. And you can see Dusty's frustration spilling over when he starts talking about things like, well, I guess you want to blame me, you can blame me. And so winning's never fun.
Bill O'Brien there,
Do what now?
A little bit of Bill O'Brien there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where they just have gone through a rough stretch, and they're going to have to figure out, coming back home, get back to their winning ways. And, Oakland won today, so it was good that they won. So Oakland and the Astros are keeping pace with each other, which I think is going to make for a very exciting end of the season.
Both teams broke a 4-game losing streak. So yay for the Astros, boo for the A's.
Right.
I mean, both teams are good. They're not going to continue to lose. So both teams are eventually going to do this. And what the Astros need to realize, and I think that they will, is that the more losses they have now, the harder they're going to have to play at the end of the season. And you want to you don't want to cruise into the playoffs, because you want to kind of play some competitive games. So we've seen some teams kind of cruise into playoffs and then just kind of play dead in the playoffs and get knocked out early. But you definitely don't want to play your ace pitchers and then have to play Jake Odorizzi in game 1 of the playoffs, because you had to burn all your pitchers in a 1-game playoff just to play into the wild card game and situation. So you definitely want to win as many games as you can. I know it's just August, but still, the games in August and September do matter.
Yeah, I don't think, honestly, no matter what kind of run they've been on, I don't see the Astros not winning the division. I don't see them falling to second. I don't see the Mariners catching them. I think Oakland continues to struggle. I think Houston's built a little bit better than Oakland in the long run. And, today, look at what Stanek did. Very strong outing. Presley came in a non-save situation. Their relief pitchers, Christian Javier, came in. And so they're guys that maybe the night before or last time they were out didn't do great. They did great. And so they need to just find more consistency out of the bullpen, Eric. They scoring 6 runs, they scored 6 runs the other day and lost. So scoring 6 runs and winning is definitely satisfactory to me. And like you said, they got thrown out at home. They were aggressive. They're being aggressive. I question some of the aggressive runs to home, like someone like Maldi, and taking the bat out of the other player's hand that maybe is up there. You had Diaz up. When Maldonado got thrown out at home, you had Diaz up next. He was hitting 394 going into today's game with runners in scoring position. And he got that single that helped them lead to and ultimately lead to a victory. And so they just put it together. They played better baseball. And I think it was a good series all around for Jake Myers. He didn't hit any grand slams, but he contributed. Chas McCormick contributed. But Aldemys Diaz, I think, is the MVP of this team right now.
All right, let's rewind it a little bit. You missed the hero of today's game. It was Phil Minton because he came in and pitched 2 shutout innings. And I know that Luis Garcia is being held back because of inning limitations. He's already surpassed his career innings limit. So they're going to kind of hold him back a little bit. They held him to 70 pitches today. I think they said pregame they're going to limit him to 85 pitches. And so they definitely limited him to the 70 pitches today. But Maton came in and he really pitched 2 strong innings. His velocity was down on his pitches, but his spin rate was up, and it was really fooling the hitters, and he didn't allow any hits. He did walk 1 batter. He only had 1 strikeout, but this guy has really shown what he can do, especially without the velocity. And he has shown why the Astros went out and traded Miles Straw. So I think that he was the story of the game. He came in, and the Royals had no idea how to get a hit off of him today. I know he kind of struggled earlier in the series, but he was a pitcher that you kind of looked over earlier, and I just wanted to give him some props as well.
No, yeah, definitely. And I think part of that's because I don't think I was watching the game as he finished up. I didn't see that he had been in there for 2 innings. So I'm just saying. But yeah, he gets a lot of grief because he was a Miles Straw trade. There's a lot of talk right now online about, is there dissension among the ranks? Is there issues between Click and Dusty, and what does that mean, and all that stuff? And so it's good for this team to get a win. All that stuff comes up. You notice how that stuff pipes up when they're losing, but when they're not losing, people don't talk about it.
Brett, this is also stupid. I think that James Click just needs to give Dusty a Built Bar and maybe a box of Built Bars, and then this will all just go away.
I know, and I heard the other day you talked about my Built Bar fridge, and that is true. I have a ton of Built Bars in my fridge because they're delicious. I actually had one today. I had the birthday cake, white chocolate. They are healthy for you. They are great snacks. They are protein bars, but they taste like a candy bar. They're delicious. Pretty much any flavor you want, they have. If you are passionate about health, if you are passionate about protein, you need to go to Built Bar. You need to try their mint brownie, their double chocolate, their salted caramel, strawberry, and so many more. Grasshopper cookie, phenomenal flavors, 17 to 18 grams of protein, calories ranging from 130 to 180 calories, 4 to 5 grams of sugar, and only 45 grams of net carbs. Amazing flavors, all tasty and all healthy. When you order today, get the grasshopper cookie or raspberry, whatever you like. BuiltBar.com is the official protein bar of the USA track and field team. I think that's pretty cool. Also, your Locked On hosts love them. So go to Built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15, that's LOCKED 15, and you'll get 15% off your order. Use the promo code LOCKED15 and go to Built.com. It is the best bar in the biz.
All right, so Andy brings up a pretty good question. Who gets bumped out of the outfield when Tucker comes back? Myers has been playing really good, but so has McCormick. So I think it's pretty easy. I think McCormick has, especially the way he's been playing recently, I think he's going to have the upper hand, but I think it's going to be kind of a seniority. I know Dusty really likes the senior players, so I think we're going to see McCormick get most of playing time. But Jake Myers has made a name for himself, and he had one more hit. His OPS has dropped below 1,000. Man.
Oh man, such an underachiever that
Yeah,
Jake
I know,
Myers.
but his OPS is 934, and he's batting 7th. At least he's not batting 8th like he was yesterday. So he's moving up in the order a little bit. So his batting average is 313. I know McCormick is batting 6 right now, batting 259, 784. But McCormick has been hot recently, and it's just really impressive what this guy has done. And now you see why James Click felt comfortable trading Miles Straw, and it was because of what McCormick can offer. He's kind of slowed down a little bit with the home run progress, but that's okay. McCormick still gets hits other than home runs, and so we'll see what happens here.
Well,
and by the way, with all the crap that Dusty Baker gets, this was his 100th win as a Astros manager during the regular season, and he had to say after the game, "It feels great to hear the guys in the clubhouse partying and booming to the music." Really, Dusty, I can hear him in the office with some like music canceling headphones, just like this. Make it stop.
no, he's not doing that. No, Dusty's in there. Dusty's in there listening to some tunes from back in his day, and he's probably chilling, saying, see, I told you haters it wasn't me, and we were going to win." But Jake Myers, Eric, I would not be surprised if you see him playing more often as well, just because he provides a really good bat in the lineup. He also would kind of mention here something interesting. Mr. Corona says that Myers could DH. I don't see why not. The reason why you don't have him DHing is because you have Alvarez in the lineup, and if Alvarez is in the lineup, you're not going to take his spot. This is something we need to talk about when Bregman does come back. If, let's say, Yuli Gurriel is still cold, Eric, and Aldemys Diaz is still lighting the world on fire with his bat, do you put Diaz at first and start Diaz? Quit moving out of it. Quit avoiding tough topics. Come on.
I'm not avoiding it. That's just a silly question. You don't take Yuli Gurriel out of lineup. He's gonna
No. Listen to what I'm saying. If Yuli Gurriel is still struggling at the plate, Alex Bregman comes back. He starts at third. Do you pull Diaz out of the lineup with his bat the way it is if Yuli's slumping? Give him a rest. I think saying.
You're going to see him subbing in for everybody. He can play outfield. He can play. I think that Dusty Baker said it on the bases loaded today. He can play every position except for a catcher, and he said he's the backup catcher if needed. So I think you're going to see Diaz everywhere. So I think that he's going to be giving spells. So Diaz will still be playing, and you'll see some. You'll see him kind of resting as well. So. Don't worry, Diaz will be getting some playing time, and he'll. You want to rest these guys for October. And speaking of Bregman, we have a daily update from Dusty Baker on Alex Bregman. You ready?
Yeah.
Thoughts by Dusty.
Okay, ask if Bregman will play tonight at Sugarland. Baker said, "As far as I know, no." So basically, that's all he had to say. So we don't know when Alex Bregman is going to play, but we do know that Jose Urquidy made a start in Florida, and we know that he pitched 3 innings, allowed 1 hit, 0 runs, 0 walks, and 6 strikeouts for the Florida Coast League Astros. That's a win in my book. If he's doing that good, I know it's going to take some time. I don't know how many pitches he threw, but the goal was for him to throw, I think, 4 innings and 50 pitches. So for him to throw that well in his first, I guess, official rehab start, that's pretty darn good. Jose,
that is huge. Yeah, no, that is huge, and that will give us some reprieve. And who knows? He comes in, he gets hot, he pitches well, and obviously, what might happen is you slide him into the starting role. You slide Odorizzi into the bullpen, and Urquidy, because he doesn't have the innings on his arm like he would if he had been playing this whole time. So maybe the blessings and the curse, Eric. Maybe there's an advantage to him coming back and not having all the wear and tear on his arm going into October,
Yeah. So yeah, I could see them doing some type of piggyback system for a little bit with maybe Luis Garcia and maybe Urquidy till they build up his pitch count. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but definitely, I know a lot of people want to take Jake Odorizzi out of the rotation, but at this point, as long as the Astros continue winning with the other guys, he does sometimes maybe eat up innings. So with the number 5 pitchers, that's sometimes what all you want to ask for. So I think that's what you're looking for. So Garcia has thrown 90 pitches in 6 straight starts. So for him to only throw 70 pitches tonight, that was a little bit of a drop. But I think they're really looking at. I hate to say they're looking ahead for October, but they did that with Greinke. They're limiting his pitch count too. So I think what they're looking ahead is they're saying, okay, we've got this kick butt bullpen now. Let's go ahead and kind of look at that now and bet on making the playoffs kind of, and like betonline.ag will help you make your bets.
Yeah, betonline.ag is your online sportsbook experts. And if you are a first-time bettor, if you're a seasoned vet, if you know what you're doing, go to betonline because they do have all the information you need, all the calculations, they have specials. They're running deals all the time. And what they have right now for you, the Locked On listener, is if you go to betonline.ag, use a promo code Locked On, you'll get a 50% welcome bonus. We know that baseball season is in full swing. We know that the Astros are in this heated playoff race in AL West, trying to jockey for position in the American League to get the best record so they can have home field advantage. The Rays currently have that. But what are the odds on that? What are the odds on the Astros ending as the first place team in the American League versus the Rays? If you want to know that and more about UFC, NBA, NFL, whatever sport you follow, go to betonline.ag. They are your sportsbook experts. Use a promo code Locked On.
All right, so Aldemys Diaz was the big hero today. I think that he had 3 hits today. Then Carlos Correa had 2 hits. Alvarez had 2 hits. Altuve had a hit as well, and so McCormick had that big hit, but he had the 2-run double to tie the game at 3. What inning was that in? That was in the I lost track. Was that in the? I was in the 6th inning.
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, so that was in the 6th inning to tie the game, and so then he also had a big walk in the 10th inning.
Yes.
So the Astros did something that a lot of us have not seen recently. They scored in the extra innings, and they got bases loaded with no outs. And this is something that they struggled to do. Yes, they typically like bunted it semi over, and they scored 1 run. And then we've seen this back and forth tennis match in extra innings where the bullpen would struggle holding the opposition down. But the Astros actually went for the win in this game, and they got the 3 runs. And then the bullpen, namely Christian Javier, came in and got a save and just took care of business. So this was a game the Astros desperately needed. They're 71-50 on the season. Did they have to win it? No, but you don't want to get swept by the lowly Royals. And it just they needed this win. And what happened to Wade Davis? This guy was a former closer. I know his ERA is 6.81, but this is not the same guy that we used to see.
I mean, he's on the Royals, so that might have something to do with it. He's kind of on a sucky team, so sometimes players don't perform well on sucky teams. So I think the Astros actually did need this because if they lose today, then they are down to a game and a half with Oakland, winning today. So Oakland would have gotten closer had they not won, coming home on a losing streak against a streaking Seattle Mariners. They are 8-2 in their last 10 games, where us and Oakland are both 5-5. Someone asked us our predictions on how many hits Toro's going to get against us and how many strikeouts Smith is going to get. I don't want to predict no hits. Oh wow. I don't know. I mean, Toro's
0 hits and 0 strikeouts.
I mean, he's coming back to Minute Maid, so he knows the park.
Yeah.
He'll definitely get some hits. There will probably be a loud cheer for him. Joe Smith will be like, I guess he'll get strikeouts. Maybe Joe Smith will do what he did with us and not perform well, God willing. And we score a bunch of runs off
it'd
of
be
them.
like home at Minute Maid Park for him. Yeah. And that'd
Yeah,
be great.
exactly.
So Mr. Corona says, why did we get Jacob Wilson? And Larry, the GM, says, so we don't have to play Robel Garcia.
Yeah.
So,
like, who can we get? Is Chuck E. Cheese available?
so Jacob Wilson with the Astros is 1 for 15 on the season, and he's 0 for 8 since joining the Astros. So
He's going to
that
do
is
something
great.
big this weekend. You watch. He's going to pinch hit and hit a home run or something. It's going to be insane.
Okay, you can find him on Twitter at H-Town Wheelhouse. You can send all complaints towards H-Town
Wait, hold
Wheelhouse.
on. Why do you always got to send complaints to me? Why can't you send like celebratory text and DMs and like I'll give you my PayPal and you can pay me for all the really cool stuff I say?
Okay, H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter. So
There you go.
anyway, I know after the game, I'm trying to find that quote. Chaz McCormick said this was a big one. Obviously, it's just another game, but we had to win the game today and avoid the sweep, get some momentum on our side, and get some energy on our side. The Royals played really well, but today we really need this coming back home. And here's another thought by Dusty. We haven't played our best ball yet. Hopefully, we get Breggy back.
Hopefully we get Bregman back. Yeah.
Soon.
Hopefully Bregman drives to Minute Maid instead of another HEB to sign salsa cans. I mean, I'm just saying.
We're trying to get the whole people want to know what's wrong. What's wrong a lot of times when you're missing key guys. Anytime I play my first team against your first team, most of the time I'm going to win. So basically, he's saying he doesn't have his first team right now. And so he's waiting for Alex Bregman to get his quad better.
Oh, you were like, you're pointing to your butt? Get his butt in gear?
No.
Yeah, Dusty does make me want to drink too. I'm pretty sure Dusty drinks a lot after the games because of all these losses. He's like, I got to wash away these sorrows. But it is a dog days of summer. It is August. I still don't buy into this. We as a club typically struggle in August. It's a different team every year. I mean, every team is in August. Every team are in the dog days. And the Mariners aren't struggling. The Yankees aren't struggling. The Braves aren't struggling. The Milwaukee Brewers, the Dodgers, or the Giants aren't struggling. So why do we have to struggle? Well, it's the dog days of summer. I keep hearing that. That's a terrible excuse.
It's a Houston tradition.
But it's different teams. It's not like we got the same guys. It's not like we're running 50-year-olds out there in the old timers game. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. I know Larry says the narrative is dumb, but I mean,
it is very dumb.
I think it's something that we just fall back to. It's something because it's always tends to happen. So hopefully they can turn things around. It's still August 19th. We still have 11 days left to kind of turn things around. So let's take a look at the Mariner series. It's going to be Kikuchi versus Lance McCullers, the Astros' best pitcher. Is on the mound. He's 9-4 with 3.22 ERA and 136 strikeouts. There's obviously a lot of history between these two teams because they play a lot. I know Jordan has the most success. He's batting 364 with a home run and 2 RBIs. I know Martin Maldonado and Chaz McCormick both have 7 at-bats, and Martin Maldonado has a home run versus Kikuchi, and Altuve has a home run as well. But Kyle Seager also has 2 homers versus Lance McCullers. So that would be an interesting matchup.
Dude, Kikuchi has 6 more strikeouts than Lance McCullers does.
Well, okay.
That's interesting. I know. I'm just saying. I didn't realize that when I was looking at that preview. I was like, that's kind of odd. That's not something I ever thought I would see. Yeah, he's got 140 versus Lance McCullers 136. Of course, Lance McCullers has the better average and a slightly better ERA. I'm just saying, like, I didn't realize Kikuchi had been striking out that many people this year.
I've been waiting for this game, Saturday's game, for a while. I really am interested to see how Logan Gilbert pitch. This is a guy I've been waiting for as a fantasy baseball owner. This is a prospect I've been waiting for a while. And he's had some ups and downs as a prospect does, but I'm really looking forward to his matchup. And he's facing the old great one, Jake Odorizzi. So Jake Odorizzi,
it's your boy.
Yeah. Kyle Seager has 2 home runs. He must be Astros killer.
So if you were a truly a loyal Astros fan, you would sit this guy. You wouldn't let him pitch for your fantasy team.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, but I also when I pitch these guys, I'm okay if they give up some runs too, as long as it's like if they
I'm
lose,
just kidding.
as long as it's a 2-1 victory or something, or for the Astros. So, but Seager's has 2 home runs in his career, but he's only batting 167. So, but that's not all versus when he was with the Astros. So. I think that this will be a toss-up because I don't really have too much faith in Odorizzi. I don't know if he's going to have his mechanics day or if its mechanics are going to be off that day.
You sound a little annoyed with Odorizzi. If your mechanics are off, no. So, Odorizzi is going to pitch great. He's going to do really well. He's not going to give up 4 home runs. He's actually only going to give up 1 run. He's going to give 1 solo shot, and he's going to be done. He's going to give up 1 run.
Okay. So
the Astros win that game.
We're going to that game, so you need to buy us tickets in the Crawford boxes so we can catch a home run.
There are no tickets available for Crawford boxes except Third Market, and they're like an arm and a leg.
And the third game, it's Mr. Anderson, Tyler Anderson.
Why are you saying it like that?
From the Matrix.
Okay.
Framber Valdez.
Sorry, I missed
Mr. Anderson.
I missed the rest.
Framber Valdez is 8-4 on the season with 3.16 ERA. We all remember the last start where nobody could cover first base. That was a great one. And so Tyler Anderson, I think the Astros have faced him, but I don't really remember him, but I know Yuli Gurriel has a 286 batting average with 1 home run against him. Not too much else. I mean, there's some scattered at bats. Jose Altuve is batting 200, but the Astros, let's see what Kyle Seager has done. Yeah, Kyle Seager is batting 300 versus Valdez.
Kyle Seager's batting 300 versus every Astros pitcher. He's an Astros killer. Yeah. He bats well against us, so whatever. Kyle Seager's going to get his hits. J.P. Crawford may get a hit here or there. The Mariners are playing good baseball. Again, these are all Major League Baseball teams, and they don't have that much distance between us and them in the 3rd place spot. And so it's important that we win this series. What?
The Mariners' record is 66-56, meaning they are a winning team. So the Astros could possibly sweep them.
Oh, the Astros will beat them now. Okay. So we're playing a winning team. Good job, Mariners. You got good just so we could beat your ass.
Yeah, so thank you for that, by the way. So that's all we got for this episode of Locked On Astros podcast. Make sure you keep on subscribing to us on YouTube. And betting on the Astros doesn't have to be a guessing game. If you listen to the new Locked On Bets podcast hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling, get daily pick, blowout specials, wrong team favorite picks, and Lee Sterling's Lock of the Day. Follow the Locked On Bets podcast brought to you by betonline.ag, wherever you get your podcasts. And we will be back on Sunday to hopefully be talking about an Astros sweep over the Mariners, or at least 2 out of 3. And we'll be back on Sunday with this Locked On Astros podcast.